Fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, poop. Fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. You. What up, motherfuckers?
What's up, faggots?
Alright, we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna do some spider walk, and we're gonna go into these triads, and then we're gonna go into these 2-1-2 arpeggio shapes. And then what I want to start doing is figuring out how to tell which arpeggios go with which modes. So we'll start with this. Alright, when we hit the 7, we're gonna go double speed. Actually not liking how I'm performing the spider walk at this speed. Let's go down to 100. I'll boost the metronome up a little bit too, the volume. Here's what we gotta do. We gotta do the thing where it's in 2-4, so it skips a beat. Or 4-2, I mean. So we have to keep the rhythm while there's a missing beat. So rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4, it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, right? So we have to keep the rhythm. I was worrying about my thumb. I fucked up the rhythm. speed with this. And I think what happens is we do a whole phrase and then we hit the one. So it goes 1, 2, 3. So it goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like it always, the drum always hits on the one. Alright, let's try the alternative spider walk. Try that again. Yeah, I really hate this one, but it's definitely practicing some good skills. You have to keep the rhythm while we're doing this weird, I don't even know what you describe that as. Like this chromatic phrase on 2 strings. And I don't think we're supposed to descend on this one, but we'll see what happens if you try that out. So let's try double speed. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, now we do the metal shape, 4-note per string metal shape. See, normally I start on the high strings, or like the high frets, or high strings. We'll start on the low strings, and like ascend. See how the difference is? There's gonna be very little difference, but we'll just try it out anyways. Or you know what I was doing yesterday with the dream sequence shape? I was going up and down and then descending. Like normally I go up, then I'll go down a fret. Then I'll go down a fret. What if I go up and down and then go down a fret? Because I think that'll work on our technique for this shape. A little bit better. Alright, let's try that. I'll start on the 15. We want to go descend as well before we go down a fret. the longer you drag this out, it hurts a lot. We need to become masters at this shape so it doesn't hurt at all. We can do it effortlessly. I really think this is really good practice, because if I can force myself to make this as complicated, not as complicated, but as with all the anchoring and like playing to the rhythm and all of that, if I can really get this down, then it should be way easier in everyday playing. And it already has become more, like, I go to these 4-note per string shapes a lot more often now. Alright, we're on the 5th fret. Usually it hurts too much to even continue at this point by the 5th and 4th fret, but it seems like I'm going to be able to push further. Or actually, I'm on the 7th fret, never mind. Now I'm on the 6th. Now we're on the 5th. Alright, now the 4th. Wow, that hurts so fucking bad. Let's try the 3rd. Ow. Alright, I'm gonna quit while we're ahead. We made it to the top of the 3rd. It seems like I'm getting better at it. Like I'm getting kind of a more tighter technique. And that does hurt a lot, honestly. But I think the more I do it, it's like you learn how to like be more efficient with your movements. That's pretty good practice. Because then it's like you get all these new muscles in your hand, like unironically. My hand just looks more muscular ever since I've been doing those. Because it's like the stretching and the holding down. You're stretching your finger in a weird way, and then you also have to hold it down. And then you're slowly stretching it more and more as you work your way down the fretboard. And the thumb is what hurts a lot too. I wouldn't have anticipated that the thumb would hurt so much. But the thumb hurts a fuck ton as you try to like hold your fingers against the counterweight, right? It's like there's all little micro techniques you have to practice in music. Like, this has nothing to do with music theory. This is all technique. Other than the fact that we're using this 4-note per string metal shape, there's nothing to do with music theory. Alright, so let's go into the dream sequence, which is even the dream sequence shape. That's my colloquialism for the whole tone scale for whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step. So let's practice that. That's even harder than the 4-note per string metal shape. That's an even bigger stretch. So, alright, here we go. I think some days what we might try and do is do the dream sequence shape before the metal shape. Because I feel like I work the metal shape really hard and then my fingers are like tuck it out for the dream sequence one. I feel like maybe I could squeeze more out of that one if I don't do the other one before that. I'm gonna focus on doing this with like as minimum pressure as possible so it doesn't hurt. I've also noticed the faster you do it, I feel like you can get more out of it. Because if you go faster, then you're spending less time pressing your fingers into the fretboard and holding these anchoring positions. So I think it's worth it to practice it slow, and as you get faster, it's like now that you've built the mental or callus, I don't know what you would call it, the mental memory of like holding it down and getting it to ring out, then you can start to do that at the faster speeds. Whereas if you tried to go into the fast speeds first, you would have really poor technique. Alright, let's try this out. Yeah, I'm not really playing too rhythm well. Let's fill this out. this whole tone interval shape is so fascinating because it's such a big stretch. By the time like you hit the 12th fret, the frets by your first and second finger are way further apart than the frets of your third and fourth finger. So it's like within the shape, the stretch gets bigger and bigger within the shape. Like let's say if I go down to here to the 7th fret, it's like the 13th and the 15th are way closer than the 9th and the 11th. But you have to play all those notes. So it's like 9, 11, haha, 9, 11, 9, 11, 13, 15. Rest in peace to the lives lost on that tragedy on September 11th. World was changed forever. There was before 9/11, and then there was after, and it was all different. 9/11 changed everything. Changed everything. The world was one way, and then 9/11 happened, and the world was another way. Now you're going to get your balls touched while you're at the airport. Remember the good old days when you used to be able to smoke on a plane? You'd be in the smoking section. You'd be like, "Hey, that's Bill from Detroit. How you doing?" Now everybody's all sitting there like, "No, we're all just scrunched up and we got our fucking headphones on. We're all." Yeah, this dream sequence shape, I feel like I could, I'm not as, it's a much tougher stretch, so I kind of just have to do them in short bursts. Like I just did the 7th fret, and I like barely did it, but I was able to do it. Whereas if I work my way down to the 7th fret, I feel like I'd have no chance. Here, I'm gonna try the 10th fret. Try the 12th fret. 12th fret is very doable. Let's try the 11th fret then. Let's work our way down. Let's try the 10th. Yeah, so noticed this before. It's funny how the limits don't change by a lot. Something about the 10th fret where this shape starts to get really difficult. And it's also something about the 4th fret for the other one. But it's like I'm getting better at it, definitely getting better at it, but it's still like there's something about those markers where it's like just the physicality of my hand makes it difficult. Alright, we should go into these triads. So I'm going to do the minor and major triads. And then we're going to switch that into arpeggios after we do all the inversions. And so you can see the next inversion within the shape. So this kind of E major shape has this sort of this root and third thing on the second there. And so then you can see that it goes into that C shape. And then this has the like the root and the whatever, this sort of jump here. And so then you can see that it goes into this. This is the third string set. We have this one that's like the diagonal, that's the bottom of the E major. And then I think that one goes into like the D shape. Like the D shape has that like top thing on here. This is the weirdest shape out of all of the major triads. It's like, if you play D major, it's like in between a D major and a C. You know what I mean? That weird shape. And then it goes into like the A major shape, which is the easiest one of all of them. Alright, and then at the top string, we have this. This one right here. It's like the bottom of the E major. then it just goes up to D. Then it's like the top of the A major. Alright, so then let's turn these into arpeggios, and we'll go from one arpeggiated shape to the next, and then to the next, and to the next, and we'll like work our way up them. So. So here, we'll do the E shape, to the D shape, which goes into the C shape, which goes into the G shape, which goes into the A shape, which goes back to the E shape, alright, and then it goes to here. Alright, let's chain these arpeggios again. So, E shape. Those are the major arpeggios. And so I think what we'll do is each time we try to go through those, we'll start on a different inversion. So today we started on the E major one. I think we might have did E major yesterday, but tomorrow we'll do like, we'll start on the G or something like that. Like. Right? And then we'll do like the different order of inversions. Alright, so now let's try the minor then. So. Looks like we're playing an A minor, which is that's very clean because that's the natural minor with all of the natural notes. Like all of the white keys on the piano, essentially. Alright then, so that's the first string, that's the first three inversions. Now we go to the second string, and it's the second string always, second and the first string has the exact same inversions, but in a slightly different order. Like the order is adjusted by one. and then let's go to the third string. And that's where things start to get a little spicy. So we got this shape. This is just a regular A minor. That's pretty easy to remember. But then we also have this weird D inverted shape, like. Alright, no, but this is just the, okay, so it goes to the A minor to the E minor shape. Like the bottom of the E minor, you know what I mean? Like the octave of the E minor, right? So it's like you have this. Of course, this E minor shape is in A minor, but you know what I mean. And then we go to this weird shape. It's like the inverted D. It's very arpeggio-y, and then that gets thrown into all sorts of arpeggios, right? Alright, so then we do that, and it goes to the A minor shape again. And then to the E minor. So this is the sort of stuff that I should have learned when I was like 14 years old and like really hammered in. But no time like the present. These minor and major triads and their inversions are ridiculously useful. And I kind of already know them in a way. And we're doing this so that we can learn the arpeggios out of these triads. And once we master the basic minor, major, and diminished triad arpeggios, then we'll have a more solid footing upon which to learn the more complicated 2-1-2-1 arpeggios. Alright, so then we'll go to the last string now. Got this diagonal shape that I really like. Then we got this shape that I really like, which is like the bottom of the E minor, but it's sort of like in the right context, it's like a D minor 7 or D minor 7 shape, if you know what I mean, right? So like if I put this note here, it becomes a D minor 7. If I put this here, it becomes a A minor. Well, in this case, it's an A minor 7 and then an A minor. But like, I'm using these shapes, like, as if you were playing them as open chords, right? You know what I mean? Right, so if I put this note here, it becomes A minor 7. That's like a really beautiful chord. If I put this here, then it's just a regular A minor. Alright, and then the last inversion is this regular D minor shape. Oops. Up here. here's a really simple concept about music that helped me figure everything out, right? A 7-note scale has 7 modes. The 5-note pentatonic has 5 positions. The 3-note triads have 3 inversions, and the 4-note arpeggios have 4 uh, uh, tetrads, right? And so the amount of notes in each figure that allows you to have that implies how many variations there are of that. That should be a simple idea, but I like literally never hear anybody explain that. They always try to explain it in weird ways, or they try to like explain each idea as if like when you're trying to learn modes, people are like, all right, well this one is the major, and then this one is Dorian, and then this one is for. They explain it as if they're like 7 different scales, but they're all the same scale, but like they start on a different place. The do, re, mi, fa, si, la, ti, do. Alright, so let's make these arpeggios out of the minor triads that we just fucked around with. So here's this, we'll start with this one, with this G minor into the A minor shape. And then we're going to go from the G minor into the E minor C shape. Let's clean these up a little. Yeah, so let's just go in like a circle. We'll go in a circle between these two shapes until it sounds clean. I'm gonna do like, it's not quite sweep picking, but like it's gonna be all downstrokes, all upstrokes. So I'm like try to like do like the kind of sweeping motion, but I'm not fast enough to do sweep picking yet. Alright, now let's go from the C minor E shape into the what's it called? The D shape. Also, it's not a C minor E shape, it's just the E shape. Just keep doing that until it's clean. Jeez. Now we're going to go down to the first shape. Now we go up to the D shape again. Shit. Now we're going to go up to the first shape on the on the octave of the first shape. So it's like the first shape again, but octave up. And then we're going to do the octave shape and go down to the D shape again. Shit. And what's cool is that the harmonic minor works perfectly over this. Like I said, that the natural minor works, which is obvious, but the harmonic minor also works, which is the more complicated scale. Alright, let's do this. Holy shit, I just figured it out. Since the harmonic minor has this weird note, this is natural minor. This is harmonic minor. It has a major seventh in there. So then what we'd have to do is to create an arpeggio that has a major seventh and a minor third in it. Which, it's interesting because that loops back around to what some questions I was asking the other day, where it's like we had found that there was this major third and minor seventh shape, and that's called a dominant seven, right? So a major third and a minor seventh is a dominant seven, right? A minor third and a minor seventh is a minor seventh chord. A major third and a major seventh is a major seventh. So then a minor third and a major seventh is I don't know what that's called, but that's going to work in the harmonic minor. So we have the dominant seventh, which is a major third and a minor seventh. Okay, that's dominant. When there's a major third and a minor seventh, they call that dominant seventh. If they have a major third and a major seventh, if they're both major, then it's a major seven chord, right? And that has that beautiful sound, right? If they're both minor, if it's a minor third and a minor seventh, it becomes minor seventh. But if there is a minor third and a major seventh, what is that called? Minor third and major seventh. Because that works over harmonic minor. Okay, it is called, sometimes apparently it is called the Hitchcock chord, which is interesting. So it must be used in Hitchcock films. But it is called the minor major seventh. It is literally called the minor major seventh, which is a confusing name because the opposite of that one is called the dominant seventh. So it's either the dominant seventh, which is dominant seventh is major third and a minor seventh. That is dominant. But if it's a minor third and a major seventh, then it's called the minor major. We're also known as the Hitchcock chord. And then the other one is known as the Hendrix chord. Like the dominant seventh is often called the dominant seven add 9 is called the Hendrix chord. Yeah, alright, that's super duper fucking useful. So, alright, with that, then we can start making a minor major 7 arpeggio. So that's ridiculously useful. Alright, so then let's try using the 2-1-2-1 format. So now we're going to get in, naturally we're just going right into the 4-note arpeggios now, right? So we just found a new arpeggio that's perfect for harmonic minor, which I use all the time. So and there's going to be 4 inversions of that I'm going to have to figure out. And I'm so glad we have this 2-note, 1-note, 2-note, 1-note system, so that I can figure out those 4 inversions really quickly. We got the first inversion is like this, or I don't know if they call it, the first one is an inversion, but the first position, let's just call them positions. I don't think they have a phraseology for the 4-note arpeggios. Let's just call them positions because that's easy. First position is like this. Second position is like fuck my pick. Where'd that? How do they always just disappear? They just disappear. You drop it for like 1 second, they disappear. Alright, here we go. So first position, let's see if we remember this. Oh, that's first position. Second position is like this. Hang on. It's like this. No. Here we go. One, two, three, four, 5. Wait, that's not right. That is not right. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, should sound. Alright, there we go. So we got this. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There we go. That's not right. Getting closer though. That's not right though, because that's a different arpeggio. But I want to play those notes though, so what's happening? Alright, well yeah, so we got the first one right. It's like, so then what happened here? doesn't seem right. Alright, because that's not what I think it is. Alright, I see. That's when it starts on the 5. So this is when it starts on the 1. This is when it would be start on the 3rd. And that's the one that starts on the 5. So then starting on the 5, it'd be like this. That sounds cool. See if we can get a better. That's major 7. I want the minor major 7. Minor major 7. What a ridiculous name. The minor major 7. Alright, here we go. This is perfect. That's first position. We got that perfect. Now the weirdness starts. So they don't want to give us the. They want to do it differently. Okay, all right. No, we can get it from here. All right, perfect. So then this is the default. There we go. Jesus. Give me the fucking strength, dude. Alright, so that's the second position then. I like how that sounds too. So this would be third position. third position. Dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. So then, and then the last position would be, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth position is something like. That's cool. That is a weird arrangement of notes. Alright, that's pretty complicated. Alright, then we'll go back to first position. That was like this. Which is a lot more simpler. That's crazy. Alright, so then we can go down to the fourth position, but it's like rather than going up an octave, we'll just go down a fret. So this is good to know. Which remember this minor major 7 arpeggio, which incorporate that into our practice. The minor major 7, and that works really well with the harmonic minor. So this is harmonic minor scale. Oops. Right? Has that minor third and major 7th. So it's a minor major 7, right? So that goes with that. It kind of sounds a little yucky when you play it as a chord, but in sequence it sounds really beautiful. Okay. Minor major 7. And then the other one we got is just the major 7. So let's just try playing that over like C major 7. It's got that really beautiful sound. And we're going to get our looper pedal later today, so we can start playing these chords and then trying to play the arpeggios over there. C major 7. Oops. Right? And then we can do A minor 7. Go back to C major 7. A minor 7. Then we can do like E dominant 7 or D dominant. Oh, that's not a dominant 7. That is dominant 7. But what is that extra note? Is that like a minor 9 or what the hell is that? Yeah, that's a second, so that's like a minor. That's like a major second. So that's D7 add 9. Is that what that is? D7 add 9. No, that's not a D7 add 9. That's D7 add 9. So is it D7 flat 9? D7 flat 9. That is what I just played. D7 flat 9. Wait, no it isn't. What the fuck is this chord then? D7, guitar chord. It's not a D7. I think that's a D7 flat 9. Isn't it? But I'm not seeing this appear. What the fuck is this chord? Alright, how about this? Is that a major, okay, D7, D major 9? Or is that a D major 9 chord? No. What is this chord? That doesn't seem like a complicated chord. What is this? It's got a minor third, a major, okay, it's got a major third and a minor seventh, and then a major second. Alright, so then it's like, which is root, major third, minor seventh, major 9. What is this chord? Major 9. Alright, hold up. That's not right. Oh, it's a dominant ninth. It's a dominant ninth. That's what we're playing. I really like how that sounds. That's pretty beautiful. Because it's got that sort of, that dominant sound with like the flat 7. But then it also has the ninth in there. So it sounds very like, I don't know what you, that's like remorseful. Like that sounds like you put that right before the resolve. Like that'd be the last chord you'd play in a chord progression. Dun, 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 down to G major. Alright, so then let's try that then. What's a dominant ninth arpeggio? Dominant ninth arpeggio. So some of these arpeggio patterns don't follow the 1 2 1 2 or the 2 1 2 1. Like they don't have to, I don't think, but I feel like that's like a system that makes it like really learnable. Or, I mean, at least these diagrams is what I mean. Like these diagrams are not written in the 2 1 2 1 2 1 format. They just kind of here we go. This one does 2 1 2 1. One, two, three, four, five. Hang on though. 1 2 3 4 5. Those are 5 notes. Wait on. Hang on. Hold the press. What the fuck is that then? 5-note arpeggios? Is it even an arpeggio if it's 5 notes? That's 5. So why is that an arpeggio and not like a new sort of pentatonic scale? Because I get it, the dominant 9 chord has 5 notes in it. There's the root, the third, the fifth, the flat 7, and the 9th. So that makes sense on some level that they arpeggiate those 5 notes. That being said, why don't we just call that like a pentatonic scale? I think we'll hold off on this dominant 9 and let's just worry about 4-note arpeggios for now. But we'll keep that in mind. I see where this is heading. I see where this is heading. Because if you put yourself into a position where you're just saying, you know what, fuck scales, I don't give a fuck about scales, I'm just going to arpeggiate chords, eventually you get 5-note chords that you're arpeggiating, right? Okay, okay. If that's how it's gonna be, you jazz motherfuckers. Alright, I can fuck with that. I see where this is heading. So then let's just try arpeggiating. Let's go back to triads, but rather than arpeggiating the basic minor, major, and diminished, let's try arpeggiating the sus chords. So like suspended 4th and suspended 2nd, because those are also 3-note chords, right? That's a what? So normally we do 1 major 3rd and a 5th, or 1 minor 3rd and a 5th, or 1 minor 3rd and a flat 5th, and those are minor, major, and diminished, right? But we can do 1 4 5 and 1 2 5 and arpeggiate those. So let's go back. Let's zoom back a little bit. Go to suspended 4th arpeggio. because these are also triads, but they're like more complicated triads. So we should figure those. Let's get the triads done. Was complete all of the useful triads, because we have the minor, major, and the diminished triads more or less on lock. I could probably practice the diminished triads a little bit more, but I think these suspended fourths and these suspended second triads are going to be a little more common. And then, so let's forget about the four note. Let's not forget about the four note arpeggios, but let's accept that there's more three note arpeggios we need to practice. So. So, how are we going to go about doing this? So I think part of why the suspended fourth and the suspended second are harder to make into triads is because they're kind of like they don't work as triads as well. Like because the notes are kind of on top of each other. Like there, that works. That works. That works. But they're kind of a bigger stretch, and then this one is like 2, 3, 4. That's a 4-note jump. So then it would be like, yeah. So learning the suspended fourth triads is much more difficult than the regular triads. So it's not as simple. But since they are triads, they have 3 inversions. So even though these are pretty complicated triads relatively, it is very manageable. Okay. Well then let's just start plugging away on this. So that's like the first position then. It's a root and a fourth and a fifth. Kind of odd, because you have to like do this pentatonic jump basically. But I don't know if it's a jump because you're going down, but alright, that's pretty interesting. And then the next one is like this. And then the third inversion is really easy because it's just 3 notes on top of each other. So, and then the root is in the middle. So that's a 5, 1, 4. And then this is a 4, 5, 1. And this is 1, 5, 4, or 1, 4, 5. So this actually might be easier than I thought it would be. It's still a little awkward, I will say. It's kind of an awkward arrangement of notes. But it's not as awkward as the 4 and 5 note arpeggios. So we should probably get these suspended chord arpeggios down first. So that is with the first position in their 3 inversions on the 6th string. Now let's try the 5th string inversions, because that's the same. The 6th and the 5th string are always going to be the same no matter what triad. Just the order is going to be a little different. Right, so we go to this one, to the 3 notes on top of each other, the 5, 1, 4, this one. I actually really like how this sounds. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna sound really good arpeggiated. That sounds really cool. Alright, so those two strings are the same, more or less. Like it's like the same inversions, but they're like up and down at two positions. So now the fourth string, let's see how weird this can get then. Alright, so fourth string is like, alright. Hold up. No, that's not right. Oh yeah, it is right. Alright. So we have this one. I know that sort of suspended fourth shape anyways. That's kind of like the suspended D, right? So then the next one would be right, okay, so then this is like the A, so this is like the suspended A shape. And then the next one would be, this is the hardest shape probably. You have to like do this big reach around. I bet you fucking manly ass never have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around. That sounds awesome. I'm gonna use that a lot. I should have done this forever ago. Viagra, it really works. Alright, so then here we got this one. Oh, sweet. Um, and then the last three strings is also pretty easy as well. So we got that shape. Then we got this motherfucker. Then we got this fucker. So then let's try arpeggiating these. Or let's go up and down these triad shapes. So first position, second position, third position, back to first position of the octave. Second octave, second position. This. Third octave, third position. Alright. So then let's try this. This is the fourth string set. Got this here. First position. Second position. And this is the hardest position. This is the hardest shape out of all of these ones. I feel like I'll probably forget. I'll remember that one because it's weird, but I'll probably like in the moment fuck it up. Like I remember there's that weird one where like it stretches over with the pinky like. Alright, now we're back on the fifth string. Alright, and now we'll go back to the bottom string. Cool. I really fuck with those. That's pretty awesome. Let's try arpeggiating them. We'll do this slow. Alright, now let's go to the next position. So then, it goes like this on this one. Whoop. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, and then this one goes like. Oh, it has that right there. That's right. Okay, okay. So then it goes. That's simple. First position. Bum, bum, bum. Second position is foot. And then third position is. Let's think about this. This is the one with the weird shape. Yeah, okay, there's that one's pretty tough because it has two weird shapes in it. It has this one, then it has this one. And then the first one is like the real simple shape. So it's deceptive because the first triad inversion is the easiest one, and then it goes to the two hardest versions. So it's like. Alright. Alright, and this, so then let's go back to the other. And then there's the first. Alright, and here we go. Let's try the second. And then the third. Then we do the octave. Let's try the second octave. We'll see if that fits. Perfect. Now go back to the first octave. Then to the hard one. Fuck. And then to the second inversion. First inversion. Alright, so let's try chaining those arpeggios into each other. that was good. We went from first position to second position and we circled around. Let's do that again. Then we'll go from second position to third position, which is going to be hard. Good, we did that. It's a little shaky at the end. So. That right there is pretty complicated, this whole area. Cool. So that's suspended fourth triads. I'm really into that. That sounds really good. I really dig that. So I got some songs that use suspended chords, so then I could just start arpeggiating certain stuff over there where I'm soloing on them. Well, I'm going to have to start working on that. This is a really cool combination of things. Because I have this thing where it goes from major to suspended. So it's like. So we're just throw that into the triad practice at the beginning. And I think the more we do the triad practice, the quicker we'll get through it. And then the more it'll just be subconscious. It's really important to have these triads down. So that was suspended fourth. I kind of want to do suspended second as well, but it might take up a lot of time. So tomorrow we'll work on minor, major, diminished, and suspended fourth. And then we'll learn suspended second. And then we'll also have the looper pedal, and then we'll start doing the loops with like dominant 9, you know, major 7, minor 7, all of that, and then start trying to play those 4-note arpeggios over the loops. I think that's what it's going to be gearing to. A minor, major 7. That's what we just learned today, the minor, major 7. Yeah, the minor major 7. That is a good one to have in the arsenal. Definitely. Because I play these harmonic minor. Because harmonic minor is one of the only complicated scales that I have really, really solid down. They use that in a lot of flamenco and shit, right? I'd wonder what arpeggios would work for like this dominant. I have this dominant pentatonic thing that I do all the time. So let's look at some of these. Should we learn sixth chords? Major sixths? You already know them, but I mean, like, should we like really, really know them? C6. If we really want to learn those, we're going to have to do a lot of these weird shapes, these weird jazz shapes. I'm not into that. There you go, that's actually right. Playing it right. And that would be a 4-note arpeggio to C6, because it's a 1, 3, 5, 6. They got the minor 6, which is like this. You just drop the 3. Major, minor. They got this easy open shape for it too. And mine would be like this. Wait, no, it wouldn't. Mine would be here. What would C6 go good over? Ionian, right? Major 6 chord, not the interval. The 6th chord refers to 2 different kinds of chords, apparently. The first in classical music and the second in modern pop music. Make that make sense to me. Alright, so first example is this. Okay, the difference between a 6th chord and a major 6th chord. Alright, jazzguitarlessons.com, explain it to me. A major 6th chord is a major 7 chord with an added 6 or 13th. A 6th chord is a major triad with an added 6th. Okay, that makes perfect sense actually. So yeah, a major 6th is like a major 7, but then you have the 13th essentially. because if you 6 times 2 plus 1 Alright. What is difference? Alright, so we can do, so I don't want to put major 6, let's do 6 chord. 6 chord arpeggio. That has a very wholesome sound to it. Sounds like some Charlie Brown. Yeah, and that one fits very, very well with the pentatonic. So. Major 6, that's pretty awesome. I really like that major 6 actually. That's really awesome. Let's try the minor 6. I don't like that as much, but I'm gonna learn all those. Alright, I'm gonna make a checklist. I got what's it called? A whiteboard. I'm gonna build a whole checklist on that right now. I'm gonna go get that. So, let's think about this. Let's create a daily checklist. Number 1, spider walk. Plus variations. 2, triads. And then let's go A, subgroup it. Minor major, diminished, and then B, sus chords, sus triads. Or let's do sus4 and sus4 and sus4. Sus4 and sus2. Triads and 3-note arpeggios. Then we'll go into 4-note arpeggios. Alright, and then so the arpeggios that we have down right now are the major and minor 7. Major, comma, minor 7. And we'll throw in dominant 7th too. Those are the ones that we have down, so we'll do those first. Then we'll do the minor major 7, right? Which is a totally different thing. We'll do the what is it? The minor 9. All right, so we got this major 6, major 6, major 6, let's do minor 9, minor 9 arpeggio. Major 6 and the minor 9. So I think that's pretty solid. Let's get a list of what would be all the ideal arpeggios to master. So we go from spider walk to triads, which have the 3-note arpeggios. For the 3-note arpeggios, we got the 1, 3, 5, minor, major, and diminished. Then we have the sus4 and the sus2. Are there any other 3-note triads we need to get? Okay, so there's 1, 3, 5. Then we have the 1, 4, 5 and the 1, 2, 5. 1, 3 sharp 5th. So that's augmented. Augmented triads. Let's see if that is going to be useful. Augmented triad. Guitar. Alright, let's hear how this sounds real quick. I think we're going to throw that in because it's interesting. I like interesting shit. Alright. Whoa, those are some weird triads too. What the fuck are those? Something's very weird about that. because they're all the same thing. Alright, if that's how it is, then I don't know if I really need to practice that, because I think I pretty much already got it. Like, I could commit that to memory. It's like, so it's a 1-3 sharp fifth. And really, that's just like a perfect, like, little interval thing. 1-3 sharp fifth triad guitar. So that seems like that would go over the whole tone scale, like really simply, like really easily. The dream sequence thing. Alright, so then that makes sense then. Those are all augmented triads. Alright, so then I think then that means by doing the minor, major, diminished, the sus4 and the sus2, is that all of the triads? I feel like there should be more. Polychords. Polychords are superimposed chords. They are more common in some kinds of jazz than others, like classical. This may occur, for instance, when a piano player plays a D minor with the left hand, possibly omitting its fifth, and a G major with the right hand. The most common notation for a polychord is upper chord, lower chord, like a math problem. So G over D minor. Oh, that's what all the over thing is. Like when they say C over G and all of that stuff. I see. I can't believe I just clicked on what the fuck that is. Jazz people, fuck you. Alright, in a case of very specific voicing is needed, the individual chords can be written in their desired inversions. For example, E flat minor over G flat over C drop 2. Okay. A common use of polychords is arpeggiating one chord against a different chord. For instance, on the piano, the left hand may be holding down a G5 chord, while the right hand arpeggiates D minor chords. So we can use this, because what it's going to be like for us is we'll start the arpeggio on we'll start the arpeggio on a G5 arpeggio, and then once we reach the top, we'll like switch to a D minor arpeggio. So that's kind of simulates, it's a similar sort of concept than if you were a piano player and you play a G5 chord and then you play D minor arpeggios with your right hand. Polychords. Alright, cool. Polychords. See, I gotta look into these polychords ideas. I don't think we'll be playing polychords that often. That's more of a piano thing, though it does show up in guitar. But the idea of one arpeggio being accented with a different arpeggio is going to be pretty crucial to what we're trying to learn. So I gotta look into polychords. But yeah, I think that's all of the triads. How about, okay, every guitar triad. Guitar triads. Yeah, minor, major, diminished, augmented. And then there's the sus. They don't mention the sus though in this. Even though those are also triads. So that makes me think maybe there are some secret triads. Alright, well, let's see if we can come up with our own triad like shape and then try to look up what that is. So we have root, third, and fifth. We have root, minor third, and fifth. We have root, minor third, and flat fifth, and that's diminished. Then we have root, fourth, and fifth. And then we have root, second, and fifth. So then, what else would there be? That's root, 6, and fifth. 1, 6, 5. Or that's 1, 6, 7. Well, I think what happens at that point, people are just like, well, then you might as well throw in a third. There's no point in making that a triad. You might as well just play the full chord. Okay, well then I'll just treat it like that. Then those are all the triads we need. We have the minor, major, diminished, and then the sus4 and the sus2 triads. Now I think the sus4 and the sus2 share some triads. So then, let's make a list of some possible arpeggios that would be worth learning. Because I think we kind of listed most of the important ones, honestly. There's not as many as you would think. So we have the seventh arpeggios, which are minor, major, and the dominant, and the minor major 7. We have the major and minor 6, the major and minor 9th, and then what else do we need? Like I'm sure I'll find some. All right, let's Google this. Most important 4-note arpeggios. So let's try this. 13th chord arpeggio. Isn't the 13th just the 6th? The 6th though? I think the 13 is just the 6. Right? So let's put these two up against each other then. So this is the 13th arpeggio. That's a major 13, and then the major 6 is what? No, they're not the same. Wait. Okay, they're very similar though. That's major 6, and then major 13 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. How does that make any sense at all? One, two, three, four, five, 6. But there's no. Alright, now I'm officially confused. How does that make any sense? They don't have an octave in there. Does the 13th, does that skip the octave? And is that what makes it a 13? Rather than repeating? Because if that's the case, I think my brain just might explode. Oh my god, that is the case. So then if you're playing a 13th chord, then you have a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then there's 7. So then why isn't that just like the Ionian scale at that point if there's 7 notes? How does that make any sense? Alright. I'm not even going to pretend to understand that at all. That goes against everything I thought I knew about music. 13th. I always thought that the 13th was like, oh yeah, it's like, if it goes over the octave, then it's like, you're just naming the repeated notes with a higher number. But that's not the case? Shall I watch a video on this? 13th chords, guitar. Understanding chord extensions. That's what I need. Understanding chord extensions, 9th, 11th, and 13th.
Hey guys, this is the Bearded Guitarist. So today we'll try to understand what the 9th, 11th and 13th are in the chords that we are going to play and how to use them on guitar. So a few shapes that might be helpful when you play these kind of chords. So the first thing that you have to know, the first thing that you have to have clear in your mind is that when you play a chord, let's say that you play a major or a minor chord, let's say a C major or a C minor chord, the notes that you have in the chord are the root, the third and the fifth. Now when you play a major chord, you're going to have the major third. When you play the minor chord, you're going to have the minor third, while the fifth is actually the same. So the fifth is the perfect fifth. So in the case of a C major, you do have C, E, G, and in a C minor you've got C, E flat, G. Now this is when you play triads, so basically when you play chords with 3 notes. If you extend this to the 7ths and you make the 7th chords, you're gonna get either a major 7th chord or a minor 7th chord, or a dominant 7th chord. Okay, several different shapes for these. If you also know the diminished triads, you might want to create a half diminished chord, so a minor 7 flat 5. Okay, but to keep it simple today, we'll focus on 3 7th chords only: the major 7th, the minor 7th, and the dominant 7th. Now, here is where you start when you want to understand, when you want to practice and study what the 9th, the 11th, and the 13th are. Okay, so basically when we make these chords,
I'm gonna pause before he gets into that because he sparked my mind with something. Minor 7 flat 5. Minor 7 flat 5. Because I understand that, but I haven't really practiced that, I don't think. Minor 7 flat 5. How odd is that? And so then would you have to make a new arpeggio out of that? You would. At least that follows the 2-1-2-1. Alright, let's go back to that video, because he's about to get into 9th, 11th, and 13th. He just set all the groundwork. So he said, major is 1-3-5, minor is 1 minor 3-5, diminished is flat 5, flat 3, 1, and then you have dominant 7 and all this stuff, right? And then how does that make sense in then with 9th, 11th, and 13th?
So we go by thirds. So I go from the 1st degree, the root, to the 3rd, then from the 3rd to the 5th, and from the 5th I will go either to the minor or major 7th.
I see.
Minor 7th or 5th.
Okay, so these chords are constructed by thirds, relative thirds, right? That's a good way of putting. That's a good thing. I probably subconsciously knew that, but it's good to consciously know that, because it's like, all right, you have minor third, and then the 5th is a third compared to the 3rd, right? So from the 3rd to the 5th, that's a third, right? So root to 3rd, 3rd to 5th, that's another third, and then to the 7th, that's another third. And then to probably where he's going to go is that to the 9th, and to the 11th, and to the 13th, those are also continual relative thirds.
Major 7th, depending whether I want a minor 7 or a major 7th or a dominant 7 chord. But if I continue, after the numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, if I keep going by thirds, I will find the number 9. Okay, so if I do root or 1, then 3, 5, 7, 9, I'm just playing a major 9 chord. Okay, so I'm just going literally by thirds every time. Only imagine that after the 9th, if I go by thirds, I'm the 11th and then the 13th. So I've got a total.
Dude, it's always some obvious ass shit that you're missing. The chords are constructed by thirds. Duh. But who the fuck is gonna say that?
Total of 7 7 notes, but 7 notes are nothing but the 7 notes of the C major scale, for example. If you think about the major scale or the natural minor scale. Okay, so it's just the way you create the chords which is different, because you go by thirds, you get your triads 1, 3, 5, then you get your 7th chord 1, 3, 5, 7, and then if you go by thirds again and you get to the 9th, you get 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, okay, and so on.
Alright, so then 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And that's 13. 9, 11.
And so forth. And that 9th, 11th, and 13th is nothing but the 2nd, the 4th, and the 6th degree that you didn't use in the first octave. When you basically went 1, 2, 3, you were skipping the 2nd.
Oh, that's so obvious too. Okay. So then if we're going by thirds, 1, 3, 5, 7, what happens is we skip the 2 and the 4. So then when we go to the above the scale degree, above the octave, and we go to 9, the 9 corresponds with 2, and the 11 corresponds with 4, and then the 13 corresponds with 6. That's such a interesting, like, I've never noticed that, but that was always there the whole time.
Degree. When you went 3 to 5, you were skipping the 4th degree, and when you go 5 to 7th, you are skipping the 6th degree. Okay, and you play them one octave higher, making them the 9th, the 11th, and the 13th, but still belonging to the same scale. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, basically use only 1, 3, 5, 7, and you get that 2, 4, 6, one octave higher as 9th, 11th, 13th. Okay, so this is the theory. This is how you use the 9th, 11th, and 13th, where they come from. Let's see a few examples on the fretboard. Okay, again, these are only.
So then, let's say if we're playing in the major scale, right? 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 7, 5, 7, 9, 7, 9, 11, right? So that'd be 11, right? And then this would be, that'd be a 13th chord. Alright. So then 9th chord, 11th chord. The 11th doesn't sound like it because that's the, or is that right? Yeah, that works. And then the 13th. And then would it be the 15th chord after that? I don't think that's right. I've never heard that before, 15.
A few examples. These are not all of the positions that you might want to learn on guitar to use these chords, but they are a few basic positions that you should know. So let's start with the dominant 7 chord, okay? The tensive chord, the one that gives you the tension, and then you really...
But that's really good to think about. The 9 is 2, the 11 is 4, and the 13 is 6. Because it goes by thirds, so 1 third, 3, 5, 3, 7, right? That all makes sense. and then from there it goes 7, 9, 11, 13. And those are all the notes that we skipped. Right? Like if I were to go back, like, you see? So it's like 1, 3, 5, 7, and then if I play all the this is 2, 4, 6, and I can do that up here too. That's such a useful way of thinking about that. I'm always going to have that in the back of my mind for forever now.
Keys on the one. Usually you find the dominant 7th chord on the 5th degree of a particular key. So let's say that I'm playing a C7. Okay, I now want to extend this to the 9th. So I'm going to play a C7-9 or just C9. This is the position I
I see. So then that's how you get these C7 over 9 to C7 add 9. Whereas, I mean, obviously I know that chord, but that's like the logic behind it.
to use, and the note that I added was the 9th, so basically the 2nd degree D, 1 octave higher. Now most of the times you stop here, so you can play either this way or this way, but you stop on the 2nd string, but the 9th is. However, in this way you are dropping.
And just earlier today, we were trying to figure out that chord. Like, what is this? C. It's like a major third with the 9, dominant 9.
The 5th, so you are doing an omit 5. So you're not playing the 5th, you're only playing 1, 3, not 5, 7, 9. If you do want the 5th, you can play it again. Here, 1 octave higher basically, and you don't lose anything. You're literally playing 5 notes. Okay, that's gonna be up to you. It depends on kind of like the style that you're playing, the song, and everything else. But anyway, this is the dominant 7th chord extended to the 9th. What if you want to extend it to the 11th? When we extend it to the 11th, we do have a problem because the 11th, what we said before, is nothing but the 4th degree, and the 4th degree has a distance of 1/2 step from the 3rd, from a very important note in the chord. This makes it a little bit dissonant to most ears, so for that reason we don't really use.
So then, let's pause this for a second and let's try figuring out some chords then. So this is 1, 3, 7. Is that a 9? Is this a minor 9? Wait, so if this one is major 9, what is this? Oh, I think that's also dominant 9. So this is a D dominant 9, D7 9 to G 9. So that's the same chord because of this B string. So then, okay, so then we could go D9 to G9 to C7 right? Or is that C7? 1, 3, that's a major 7, and then that is, what is that? think that's also a 9. So this D9 is in Lydian, or Mixolydian. Then this G9 is in major. Wait, hang on though. That note is not in major. So explain that to me. This C7 would add 9. These are all 9s. Then we go to A minor 7. So that's really weird, because how can these both be Mixolydian? Yeah, and then the Lydian does not go down to natural minor. So is this what it's like to be on jazz? Then you stop worrying about the scales and you just play cool chords? Is that what it is? Because that does not fit with any of my scalar knowledge, my scalar knowledge. So let's break this down then. That's definitely Mixolydian. And that's also Mixolydian. So there's just like an off note with that, which happens sometimes. I'm just trying to make sense of that. And then this is in Lydian, which makes sense because this D add 9 is in Mixolydian. So then the C should be in Lydian. And then why is the G in Lydian or Mixolydian? So and if I can play the A7. I think, that should be Dorian. That makes sense. Then if that's Dorian, then that makes sense. Then the only weird part is this Mixolydian note. So, because if I play it scalarly, it should be like this. But if I make that a dominant 7, then it's different, or a dominant 9. So then if I go, so I think that sounds good like that. that's why we need to learn the arpeggios for each of these um, jazz chords. And so then if I played that way and put the arpeggio first and then fall back on the scale as like a backbone, that seems like a pretty solid way to play. Because if you play the right arpeggio for each chord, then you're never going to play a wrong note, basically. Or not just never a wrong note, like it's like only notes that it's better than not playing a wrong note. It's better than that. You're only going to play notes that make sense for each chord that's being played. Because technically, with the scales, you'll never play a wrong note. However, you'll play notes that don't sound good because you're highlighting different tonalities within the same scale. Right? So we have this. And then if we just go crazy on Mixolydian, that doesn't sound like it. You played this note. But if you play the arpeggiated of these notes here, see what I'm saying? And we gotta really get these arpeggios down so that I could just play more interesting stuff over the arpeggios. I'm still kind of like memorizing them. But if I have the arpeggios down as much as I have the modes down, it's kind of like game over, isn't it? And at that point, all you need to do is just play all of the time. And put yourself in all the weirdest possible chord progressions, the weirdest intervals, all of that. And then you'll just never be able to play a wrong note, or never play a note that doesn't sound good. Then you have to work on the rhythmic element of it. Alright, let me see when this looper pedal is going to arrive, because that is going to be a big help for what we're trying to do with these arpeggios. It's gonna be here later today. So tomorrow we're gonna mess around with the loops and we're gonna go through these lists of arpeggios we made that we want to practice. And then so while doing that, we'll get good at two different things. For one, we'll get really good at chord progressions with these jazz chords, and two, we'll get good at playing over chord changes with the arpeggios. So we'll be practicing two different skills at once. Plus, we'll be playing to a rhythm like a, right? Alright. Let's see, how long have we been going then? Here, I want to watch this lady, Gracie, whatever. She explained the circle of fifths a while ago. She has this thing about diatonic chords, chord theory. I want to watch her stuff on chord theory. We're going to watch a ton of her shit. I gotta hit the bathroom, and then we're going to watch a ton of this lady's chord theory videos. Alright. 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 Easy chord theory, diatonic chords of the major keys. That might be a little below us.
If you've ever played a song in the key of C, there's a good chance you came across some of these chords while playing it. That's because these are the diatonic chords in the key of C major. You can think of diatonic chords as being like a close family of chords connected to a key. Perhaps you want to understand.
Alright, let's try this. Let's try the next level. Diatonic seventh chords.
And just instantly be able to play the chords back by ear without reading any sheet music or chord chart. Are they just geniuses? Well, maybe some of them are, but most people who can do this simply have trained their ears to recognize different chord progressions, and they have a strong understanding of something called diatonic chords. So the good news is you don't have to be some sort of genius to be able to train your ear. You just have to put the time and practice in, and the best place to start this process is to learn about diatonic chords. Later in this video, I'll show you how you can apply your knowledge of diatonic chords to figuring out chord progressions by ear. Now, I already made a video about diatonic chords of major keys where we analyze the diatonic chords as triads, but in today's lesson, we're going to analyze the diatonic chords of major keys as seventh chords instead of triads. If you're new to this topic, I do recommend you watch that video first, and I've linked it in the description below. I'll still give a brief overview in this video, so if you get bored, and I've linked it but in today's lesson, we're going to analyze the diatonic chords of major keys as seventh chords instead of triads. If you're new to this topic, I do recommend you watch that video first, and I've linked it in the description below. I'll still give a brief overview in this video, so if you get bored or if you just want to jump ahead to the quick and easy pattern I show you later in the video, you can skip ahead to any other section using the timestamps in the description below. Let's first quickly discuss what diatonic chords are. The term might sound fancy, but really you can just think of diatonic chords as a close-knit family of chords connected to a key. So for example, in the key of G major, we have a group of diatonic chords, which are these right here. And in the key of C major, we have another group of diatonic chords, which are these right here. And so forth in every key. Just as a very quick side note, many chords will pop up as being diatonic chords of multiple different keys. For instance, you can see here that E minor 7 and A minor 7 can both be seen in the keys of G major and C major, right? We see them in both of these groups. However, they serve different harmonic functions depending on which key we're in. We can get into this more another day. I'm only pointing it out to you now so that you understand it's okay for a chord to be a diatonic chord of multiple different keys. I don't want you to be confused if you see the same chords popping up in different sets of diatonic chords.
Before she goes on, let's try and play these through. So then, G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7, then just D7, which is the dominant 7. So that is interesting to me. And then E minor 7. And then F sharp diminished 7. I don't even know what that is. Well, like, I can think about it, but I wouldn't be able to play that. Actually, I can play that. It's like this. And then back to G major 7. How weird. So C major 7, E minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, and then G dominant 7. A minor 7 to B diminished 7, back to C major 7. Alright, well, why do I need the rest of this 47-minute video then?
Anyway, back to our question, what are diatonic chords? So we already said they're a close-knit family of chords connected to a specific key. So what does that mean? That means that if you play a song in the key of G major, okay, there's a very good chance that you're going to see some of these chords in the song. That's because these chords are the diatonic chords of G major. Now, you might see other chords in the song as well. Songs can have any chords they want in them, not just the diatonic chords. But there's a good chance they will have a lot of these diatonic chords in them. Now, why are these chords connected to the key of G major? Well, the reason is because the notes that make up these chords are only notes that are in the G major scale. Let me show you what I mean if that doesn't make any sense. So first let's write out a G major scale. Now, the notes in our G major scale are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. But the scale can keep repeating infinitely in either direction. So after this F sharp, I can just keep writing the notes in the scale. So after F sharp, we go back to G again. And after G, we have A. After A, we have B, C, and so on and so forth. Now, to create the first diatonic chord in our key, we are going to start on the root this way, we're just going to hop over one note to get to the next. Let me show you. So we start with the note G, then we hop over A, and we get to B. Then we hop over C, and we get to D. Then we hop over E, and we get to F sharp. And voila, these notes, G, B, D, and F sharp, are the notes in our first diatonic seventh chord for the key of G major. And when I
Alright, hang on. I'll stop paying attention.
E,
So she's talking about how this is some circle of fifths stuff, right? G major has one sharp and it's F sharp. And if we do these thirds, 1, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7. If we do a seventh chord, then the seventh is the F sharp. Alright.
and we get to D. Then we hop over D major. And when I play these four notes together, G, B, D, F sharp, the chord I'm playing is called a G major 7 chord. And therefore, G major 7 is our first diatonic chord in the key of G major. So, we will write its name right underneath there. Let's figure out the second diatonic chord using the same method of moving up in thirds or hopping over every other note. So this time, we will build a chord from the second note in the scale, which is A, right? So we're going to start on A, then we're going to hop over B and get to C, then we're going to hop over D and get to E, and then we're going to hop over F sharp and get to G. And voila! These four notes, A, C, E, and G, are the notes in our second diatonic seventh chord in the key of G major. And when I play these four notes together, A, C, E, and G, it sounds like this. And the chord I'm playing is called an A minor 7th chord. Therefore, A minor 7 is the second diatonic chord in the key of G major. I drew this one a little bit lower just to make room for all the different chords we're going to write out. And just to clarify, so these four notes right here, these are the four notes that are in the first diatonic chord. And those four notes make up this chord, which is G major 7. Just as a heads up, when you see a triangle, that's a shorthand symbol for the word major. So this is G major 7. That's the name of the chord, and these are the notes in the chord. These are the notes in the chord, and this is the name of the chord. And this chord is A minor 7. Okay, and when you see a lowercase m in a chord, it's a shorthand symbol for minor. Now let's figure out the third diatonic chord using the same method of moving up in thirds or hopping over every other note. So this time, we will build the chord starting from the third note in the scale, which is
So, I feel like I don't even need to go through this whole video. I understand it.
7 next to it, since it's a
I've reached the point where I understand I understand now. I can see the light.
F natural instead of
I understand everything she's saying. We're going in thirds, so it goes 1, 3, 5, 7. Then you have the major scale, so it's like A, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Then it's the F sharp, right? There's the Roman numerals. The major ones are capitalized. The minor ones are not capitalized. The diminished has the little circle. I understand it all.
major 7.
And so then if you want to play, you go, alright, saying like, well, let's play a 1, 6, 2, 5 progression. I'm not even, okay, so let's do a 1, 6, 2, 5. Alright, we'd have C major 7 as the 1, and then the 6 would be, that would be, fuck it. That would be A, right? So that's A minor. So C major 7, A minor 7, and then the 2 would be 13. Dorian, so it's D minor 7, and then the 5 would be Mixolydian, and so that's the dominant 7. So I know exactly what's going on. C major 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G major, or G sharp major, or G the dominant. There you go. We still gotta master these arpeggios, but I'm starting to see where this goes. This is like pretty exciting. It's a different way to play, but it kind of, you get to fall back into the old shit whenever you get lost. So fascinating. That's so fascinating. All right. It's probably one of the best. We learned so much today. Holy shit. So let's try and review. We did sus4 and sus2 are triads. We learned about how 9th, 11th, and 13th chords are constructed, because the chords are constructed by thirds, and then the 9th, 11th, and 13th they are the 2, the 4, and the 6 that we skip. We learned all sorts about minor, major 7 arpeggios. We learned about major 6 arpeggios. Yeah, we figured out a lot of little things, a lot of little tricks. We made our little checklist. I'm excited to see what else we can add. We noticed that the minor major 7 goes over the harmonic minor, right? So that goes over. So if we learn all of the arpeggios that go over all of these scales, and then all the chords that go within there, and now we have a method for coming up with the chords. You just go by thirds, right? So then for this, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I just realized implications of this. So then for each mode, what we can do is we could go by thirds, and then we create different chords by that. So here's the major scale, right? And then this is Dorian, and then this is Phrygian. Phrygian is the same, but we'd have a different ninth essentially. Then here's Lydian. Alright, that is going to take some experimenting with, but that's awesome. And then so I can see how, alright, so since Lydian has this augmented fourth, that means it has this the weird ninth chord, right? So right, there you go. So we have this weird chord. That's a 1, 3, 7, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And so then I could go back to that Rick Beato video, and I think I understand what he means when he says like a Lydian arpeggio, right? And so then I think that would probably end up being like a 5-note arpeggio, wouldn't it? Because you could throw the 5th in there too if you want. Personally, I would probably remove the 5th on that one. So it's a 1, 3, 4, 7. Or 1, 3, sharp 4th, sharp 7th. So then if I try to put that in the 1, 2, 1, 2 system, it'd be like, alright. That's so fascinating. That is so fascinating. Hang on. Shit. That's a big stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, something's wrong about that. That sounds awesome. So I just gotta start fucking around with these all the time. And if you learn all of those arpeggio shapes, I feel like, and it's like dominoes. Once you start like being able to figure them out like in real time, it's game over. Fuck, man. Because if you could arpeggiate every single chord just by like, because you're used to arpeggiating things. Like, because let's say I start, okay, I'm used to arpeggiating the 7th, I'm used to arpeggiating the 9th, I'm used to arpeggiating, eventually you notice that it's all the same sort of intervals and same sort of, like, concepts, and they repeat on different chords. So this one and that's why all these jazz people are like, oh yeah, that's the one that has the sharp 9, that's the one that has the flat 5th, because if it has a flat 5th, you notice that. Wow. Let's try looking at some stuff about polychords, and then that's it. I don't want to oversaturate my brain.
Have you ever heard me talk about polychords? I know you have in some of the other episodes. Well, today I'm going to tell you what they are, how they're built, and how to use them in your own compositions. That's on this episode of Everything Music. Okay, let's just define polytonality to start. It's essentially two tonalities played at the same time. You can have a full polytonal sound, which would be something like this.
It's the vintage Rick Beato. It's 6 years old.
That would be a B major over C major. I have a B major chord in this hand, and I have a C.
B major over C major. So he doesn't want us to try that yet, but let's see what that's like. So wait. How does that make any sense? All right.
C major chord in this hand. In this instance, it's a C major spread triad. Now, there are many types of polytonal chords. Some of them are not completely polytonal, some are not bitonal.
You know what? Let's hold off on polychords and let's just call it a day. I think we covered a lot of ground today. We're going to get this looper pedal, and that's going to help us do the polychords, because then I could loop one chord and then I'll play the arpeggio of the next chord on top of it. And so once we master the arpeggios and we can play over chord changes, so this is what the agenda is going to look like, all right? We want to master these arpeggios, and then we want to play over chord changes. And then after we master that, where do we go from there? Polychords, right? And so then we're playing different arpeggios that work over other arpeggios, right? So rather than playing, all right, in a box, like you play C7 and then you do the C7 arpeggio, and then you play A minor 7 and then you do the A minor arpeggio. What we do then is we start playing, we play C7 and then we put like an E minor arpeggio over the C7. I don't know if that would work, but you get what I'm saying? We'd find different ways to express that is the next level. And in the way we understand how to play the right chords over other chords, not like in a progression, but like chords over chords, is polychords. And so once we understand polychords, then we can play the arpeggios over arpeggios. Hey dog, I heard you like arpeggios, so I put arpeggios on your arpeggios so you can play arpeggios while you're playing arpeggios. Okay. Well then, with that in mind,
So, what is a chord?
guess we're gonna have to call it quits.